And I am back today to do another live recording for you guys. Today it's really different, actually, than my other readings. I have read from the Secret Language of Light deck before. I've done a couple other readings specifically talking about some of the stuff, some of the concepts in this book. But today it's really strange. It's like today I just didn't feel like inspired to do like my normal reading on YouTube. I just, I don't know. I don't know if it's like a sense of burnout or if I just needed to do something different. And it's the irony is that this whole reading is going to be discussing how to manifest change. And I know it's a topic that's come up a lot for a lot of people. And I came across this card recently. I don't know, I was flipping through and I thought that this was such an interesting concept that I wanted to talk about it more with everybody that watches me, you know? And hopefully my goal is that it inspires someone. Because I think that people are looking for like answers. And whether you're looking for a job or whether you're looking for a new relationship, most of us are needing something to change. But a lot of times we get stuck in not really knowing what it is that we want to change, like entirely, or not being willing so much to do it and not really knowing necessarily how to go about it. So like on a spiritual level, like I wanted to talk more about this because this to me talks about on a spiritual level how to kind of go about this process and think about it a little bit differently. And I have a piece of paper so that I can kind of draw out some of the concepts and things that you know, that's really common with my clients. It's very, very common things that I see with my clients. And the first thing that I want to talk about that I see, okay, as a concept, okay, about creating space in life is that I see people who are, let's just say, we're going to say the example, they want a relationship. Okay, I'm going to write this down. They want a relationship. But there's no space, quote unquote, in their life for this relationship. And by space, what are we talking about? Okay, so the first thing we're talking about space in your energy. And the same thing applies to also having children. Okay, so space in your energy, what does that mean? Okay, so let's just say, I'm just going to draw a circle, okay? I'm just going to draw a little stick figure. Okay, I'm just going to say this is you, okay? We got hands, we got some feet, that's you, okay? Around you, all of this space around you is your energy field, also called an aura. Okay? So in this energy field, a lot of things can be in that energy field. But typically, if somebody doesn't have, let's just space for children, an energy field will actually look really small. So I'm going to draw another stick figure over here. Okay. And the space around them will be kind of like this. Their aura will be kind of like that. Okay. For some people, they don't even really have energy. They have very low energy. And in some cases, their energy is filled up with all kinds of gunk, worst case scenarios, fears, doubts. Like they just don't have the energy, stress, fog energy. Some of this is electronic smog, electronic pollution. Okay. This is crud. Okay. In their energy field. What a person will look like in order to attract a relationship or have children is this right here, where they have an aura. It's bright, it's shiny, it's their space between them here, and their energy field has to go out a distance, okay? In order for there to be a space, somebody else. This person over here, as an example, is not going to be able to manifest children. They're going to have a difficult time manifesting also a relationship because their aura is full of garbage. It's full of junk, okay? And smog. And this can happen to a lot of people. So this is I'm not singling anybody out here. But this aura is what we want. This aura is not what we want. Okay, so this is not. Okay. So when we talk about space and energy, this is what we're talking about. But also, okay, number 2, space in your energy also means thoughts, okay, about what you want. So let's just say, hypothetically, all day long, you are thinking about work. You're thinking about job all day long. That is not, okay, I'm just going to say job. That is not what we want. That does not help manifest the relationship. That doesn't help manifest the children. It doesn't help manifest other things because essentially you're not attracting you're not sending thoughts, let's just say, out into the universe about the relationship. You're over here not thinking about the relationship at all. So I tell people all the time, in order to create space or in order to manifest a new relationship or potentially to have children, I'm just saying as an example, because these are very common themes. You have to have space in your energy field for it. And you have to utilize that energy to ping the universe with those little bits of energy that says, hey, I'm over here. Hey, I'm over here and I want to have kids. Hey, I'm over here and I want to have a relationship. Hey, I'm over here and I'm thinking about dating and I'm thinking about, meeting up with a guy after work and I'm thinking about going out tonight and I'm thinking about a relationship. That's the kind of stuff that's what we want to see. So we want to see relationship thoughts. Dating. And for those who want to have children, thinking about kids, babies. I find it very fascinating. I see a lot of people online who have more than one child. And they're the type of women that are kind of obsessed with babies. They think about babies all the time. As soon as they have a child, they start thinking about having a child immediately. They think about babies all day long. What are they doing? They are manifesting babies because they're thinking about babies. Thoughts about children. Thoughts about what they want. So in order to manifest this relationship, you're going to have to be thinking about relationships. You're going to have to be thinking about going out tonight, dating, where you're going to meet this person, what they're going to look like, what you're going to wear, how great the sex is going to be. You know what I'm saying? How great the relationship's going to be, what you're going to have in common, what you're going to do together, if you're going to have kids or if you're not, if you're going to skydive together, if you're going to live happy, long life together, what you're going to do together. And it's got to be positive. It's got to be positive. I'm just going to write, it's got to be positive. thoughts about a relationship. That's what it's got to be in order to manifest the relationship that you want. Now, some other things that happen when we are talking about creating space for a relationship, let's just say having children or creating space in your life for what you want. Number 3 is time. The biggest thing that I see with people that are not manifesting, let's just say a relationship or children, is that they are not making any time for another person in their life. They go to work, they go to the gym, they take their dog for a walk, they go to bed. And it's rinse, wash, repeat. And then on the weekends, they spend time with family. They have made zero time, that's negative, for manifesting, for creating space in their life. Time equals space in your life. Space in your life, okay, for having, let's just say, a romantic partner, for having, let's just say, children. A lot of people have the concept of wanting to have children as like an abstract thought. It's like an afterthought. I found it very fascinating. Like, I was at a hospital recently and they had this little shop of like, you know, for like newborns and stuff. And, you know, those newborn outfits were all like $39 or $40 a piece. And I'm just saying, from the perspective of, let's just say, a person who's going into, let's just say, labor as an abstract thought where they're not prepared, $40 a piece for one piece of clothing for a newborn is very expensive, and they're not going to be prepared for whatever else is to come. So again, it's a similar thing where if you're not even thinking about what you're going to need, like just say for children, and you're not even thinking about what you want in a relationship, then it's certainly not going to manifest, because you are spending zero time on it also. You are dedicating zero time. There are some people that want to meet someone, but it's a random abstract thought where it's something that, but it comes at the very end of the day. It's like an afterthought. I'm going to write down afterthought. Abstract thought. Concept. Not planned out. No work involved. It's easy. So what we have over here, anything that looks like, if you're trying to manifest something, but it's an abstract thought, it's an afterthought, it's not planned out, there's no work involved, and it's easy in the sense that you haven't done anything, not lifted a finger, not changed your life, for a relationship, then essentially you guys are over here. You guys are over here. Sorry about the okay, clarity here of what we've got. So these are the three main deals. Okay? Space in your aura. Space in your mind. Space in your life. Where you're making time to even, and I have met some people that are trying to manifest children that don't even have like a bassinet. They don't have any diapers. I've met some people that plan to go into labor without diapers. They plan to go into labor without wipes. They plan to go into labor without anything, no car seat, no nothing. And that is, you know, everybody's choice. But it's very hard to manifest what you want when you're not thinking about it, when it's not part of your life. And it's very important, if we are trying to make space for a relationship of any kind, that we are thinking about having space, a very clean energy, a high vibration. And what does a high vibration mean? It doesn't look like this. It's high vibration where we are not, in negativity. We are not depressed. We are not sad. We're not manifesting from the negative. We are, clearing our body, drinking a lot of water, eating good, healthy foods, making good, healthy choices, being in places that are also high vibration, spending time outdoors in nature, using fragrance that's positive, being around positive people. All of that stuff is going to keep space in our aura for the new to manifest. If, let's just say, we are constantly out, heavily drinking, let's say heavily drinking, on substances, not eating right, not sleeping right, and we are, around negativity, it's going to be a detractor. It's going to be like anti-guy repellent, okay? It's going to be like, if you like bug spray for a relationship. Okay, this is bug spray here. This is bug spray. This is not bright and shiny and happy and ready to meet someone and you're all geared up and you've dusted off the cobwebs and you've got a new outfit on and you're feeling good, you're looking good, you're in a good place mentally, you're in a good place physically, you're in a good place in your life. I meet a lot of people that want to manifest relationships, but manifest relationships because they are not in a good place in their life, or they're not in a place that they want to be, or they do not have things that are going on in their life that are healthy. So what ends up happening is that a relationship becomes an afterthought. It becomes something that they're not thinking about that much. They've got no time for it. They end up doing things, filling their life with a lot. I meet a lot of people that fill their life with a lot of pets. A woman with 3 dogs, no kids, no relationship is going to look like a person that doesn't have any time or space for somebody else. A person, let's just say a single male that goes to work, goes to the gym, takes the dog for a walk, spends all of his time either working, in addition to that, going out drinking, hanging out with family, not even considering dating. He's not a candidate for, his light is not on. He is not a candidate for this relationship. He's just not out there. And he's not gonna have it in his space or his mindset for a relationship. So what ends up happening? Okay, so this is what ends up happening. We get gunked up over here. Okay, we turn into the bug spray, which is like anti-relationship repellent. And then what ends up happening is that because we have no space in our aura, we have no thoughts that are positive about dating, about relationships, about, children, let's just say, or babies. We aren't taking any time. What ends up happening is we get to a place of like this person. I'm just going to draw a little person that's laying down. Okay. They're laying down. Okay. They're laying down. I know this is terrible. They've got a blanket over them. And they are going to manifest the crud. Cheating, lying, third party, crap. They are going to manifest all of this stuff that you see online, okay, which is about playing games, situationships. It's going to be heartbreak, suffering, sorrow, and loss. And it's only going to make this person feel lower. Because as low as they feel, they're going to feel a lot lower after they go through this crud, after they get into a third party situation and that person pulls the plug, after they get into a third party situation and they invest all of their time only to have their fertile years of reproductive years float by when the person involved doesn't care, only to experience some kind of continuous, ongoing, stressful drama that doesn't end in anything. So what happens is it just wastes their time and gets them lower than they were before. So it's pretty clear to me, from what I've seen, that in order to create this space in your life for a relationship, you're going to have to do these three main things. You're going to have to work on your vibration. You're going to have to work on not being anti-guy repellent or repellent. You're going to have to think positively about a relationship and what you want. And you're going to have to take time and make time for it. For those of you who want to have a baby, go shopping for baby stuff. Those of you who want to move in and start a family with a man, make a space in your closet. These are a lot of things that people have said before, and I'm not the first person to say them. Make your life, make time in your life, make time in your life to date. If you don't have time, okay, and this is the hard part, is that if you think, okay, like you're going to go out and you're going to manifest some great person when you're in this smoggy space, you're not thinking about it and you've got no time, you won't. What you'll end up attracting is the crud. The crud, the lying, the cheating, the third party, the games, the heartbreak, the sorrow, and the loss. Because what'll happen is that when you get somebody great, they're not going to be attracted to you. You're not going to be in a place to have it. You're not even going to be thinking about it. You're not even going to have time for it. If somebody came up to you right now, and I swear to God, like this is like very consistent with most single people that I read for, that I've seen, like in all of the clients that I've read for, really honestly, is that if somebody came up to you right now and said, can you go out tonight? Can you go out tomorrow? Can you go out Friday? Do you want to get married this Sunday? You wouldn't be ready. You would not be ready because you're not ready. Because for whatever reason, most singles or people that are trying to manifest a relationship are, for some are already in a relationship, but most single people are not ready for a relationship, which is one of the reasons why they haven't manifested it, number one. And number two is they haven't manifested it because they have no time. They have no time in their life for somebody else. People ask, about children too, manifesting, having kids. People can quote unquote try for like 10 years, 15 years. I mean, I've talked to many people. There are many, many couples who try for a really long time, try, quote unquote. And I don't like to use the word, when you try in the spiritual terms to have a child, you are not functioning from this place. You are not manifesting from this, creating this space. You're forcing it. You're trying to force it, essentially. And some people would probably beg to differ. And it's, of course, there's going to be people that really are, working hard on manifesting. But I would say that for most people that are out there trying to have children, they are working their butts off with their career. They're thinking only about their career. They may come home at the end of the day and talk to their partner, hi, honey, how are you? And think about their partner a little bit. Maybe make dinner, maybe talk to each other. How much are they talking about having a child? How much are they ready for having a child? Do they have space in their aura for having a child? These are things that are all, it's very similar, whether it's like I said, a relationship or having kids. Manifesting, it is the same. I think most people that are actually single want to be single. And I tell this, and I know it's going to be shocking to a lot of people, that it may come as a surprise, but most people that are single want to be single because they're kind of stuck and happy in that single place where they don't have to deal with this crud. They don't have to deal with the lying and the cheating, the crazy, or the drama bullshit. They are just living their life. But the problem with people that are just living their life, and I'm just going to say this, is that the single people get into this mode of not thinking about a relationship, not making time for a relationship, and then therefore it becomes an abstract thought. It becomes an afterthought. It's not planned out. They're planning to go out with their friends and meet somebody new every Friday night. No, it becomes a single person's life becomes very singular, where it's about them. It's about what they want. It's about what they're manifesting. And therefore, they aren't really thinking about making that thoughtful energy space for a relationship. I do want to read from the book because there's some other thing that was in the book that came up. I want to talk about this. So I'm going to move this over here. This is just to kind of clear this out here. And this is what the book says. Okay. It says, create space for new desires by learning how to be happy now. It says, we all want certain things in our life to change, and it is up to each of us to do something about it. If you apply action from a position of truly wanting change, you will create evidence of that desire as manifestations of change. Once you notice something you would like to change, take a deep breath and say thank you. Recognizing what you want to change brings you more clarity on what you would like to change. Your job is to create the space for your dreams and desires to fill. Do this and you will begin to receive direction and wisdom. Create this space by coming into balance, meditating, focusing on the moment, or thinking of a person, animal, place, or situation that makes you smile. Feel that smile stretch through your body and relax, knowing that all you desire is on its way. You have empowered your whole being because you don't need conditions to change to feel joyous in the present moment. You're bathing in unconditional love. Breathe it in and enjoy how good you feel. So there are several things that that are kind of popping out to me with this. Is number one, a lot of people wait for things to change and then they start to be like, okay, then they're like, okay, I'm now going to create space in my life. When we're, like a lot of people are like, okay, when we're, we've got $20,000 in the bank, then we'll start to think about having children. When we are at another point down later in our life, then we'll start to, maybe when I've lost 10 pounds, blah, 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 that's when I'll start to date. Or maybe when I feel better about myself, that's when I'll start to date. Or, we'll start to say, okay, well, when things with my family kind of calm down, I don't have to take care of anybody else, I'll start to think about dating. People make all of these excuses, and those are just a few about why they are not in a relationship. And it goes back to, again, and I tell people all the time, I've said it before, I've said it again, I'll say it again, that everyone does what they want. Does what they want, says what they want, thinks what they want, and therefore it really depends on what you want. If you want to manifest a new relationship into your life, you're going to have to think about things in this kind of way, where you're going to have to say, let go of the excuses, okay? I'm going to say, letting go of excuses. And think about it now. Start thinking about it today. Not tomorrow. Something else is changing. Not when you're done taking care of your mom or your dad or the elderly people in your life. Not when you're done with whatever it is that you are kind of trying to wrap up. Not when blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say not when. At your time. And again, some people would say, well, I'm not ready. I will be ready then. But most likely, by the time you get to being ready, 10 years will have gone by. That is the problem. So in order for things to manifest, you have to start now. You actually have to start today. You have to say, in this present moment, I am manifesting a new relationship. In this present moment, I'm thinking about a new relationship. Sorry, we're a little out of focus here. Got to get back into focus. Just a second. There we go. So that's part of it. Now, the other thing that came up, and I wasn't sure how I was going to articulate this, but this is really, really important. Okay, very, very important, is that people essentially don't understand the space concept. Okay, so we're going to think of it as you have to have an empty cup in order for the universe to come and fill. By saying an empty cup, what does that mean? You have to have the space. There's nothing in this cup, and I'm going to make it kind of a clear cup. Pretend it's like a glass teacup, okay? You have to have nothing in here in the sense that you can't have a married man or married woman. You can't have someone unavailable. You can't have something already in there which is taking up your emotional space, your auric space. Going back, you might have a hot lover. Okay, we're gonna put them in there. Why not? Let's just say a hot lover. Steam is coming off them. Okay, steam is coming off them. But they're taking up space in your energy field, number one. And they're going to give you the crud. And they're going to make you feel like shit. And they're eventually going to gunk you up with all of their shit that they're bringing in. Okay? And all of your energy and all of your thoughts are going to get tied up into this person, this steamy person who isn't available. But what's going to happen is your cup is not going to be empty. It's not going to be ready for the universe to fill. And in order for the universe to fill, there has to be the space for it. So, that's big issue. The other issue is, let's just say this cup was also a metaphor for all of your stuff. Okay? Let's just say your cup was already full. Drawing another cup here. It's already full. It's full to the brim. Okay, it's full to the brim with all of your stuff. All of your time, all of your attention, all of your thoughts, all of your energy. It's already full. If you think that you can manifest something new on top of that, which is where most people, I'm going to say 95% of people. I would even go as far as to say 100, but that's kind of pushing it. 100% of people would like the universe to give them something when they already have a full cup. That's kind of, we're going to call that having your cake and eating it too. Okay. So most people want the universe to bring it to them. They want the universe to bring whatever it is that they want to them. They feel a sense of entitlement, okay, that the universe deliver to them a relationship, a baby, a family, money. They feel that the universe is going to bring it to them. They feel that the universe, no matter what, is going to bring it to them. But this does not factor in the quantum field, okay? And we are talking quantum physics here. It's the ego that makes us think that we are able to actually receive something when our cup is already full. It's the ego that makes us think, well, I have something here and my cup is full, but I want more, okay? I want something else. I want something different. A lot of people are like, I have this relationship and their cup is already full, but they want something else. They want something different. They want something other. They want something more. But the universe is not going to give them something more when this cup is full already, because there's no space in this cup for whatever it is they want something more of. So this does not happen. So this is a preventative, but this is where pretty much most people are. Most people do not do their homework. Did you go to school? Did everybody do their homework? You know, essentially where I grew up, most people did not do their homework. Okay, kids in school did not do their homework. Okay, other places, maybe they do. But for here where I live, they did not. Okay, I went to public school here in the United States. So, yeah, there's a lot of people in high school that did not do their homework. And most people did not do their homework. And so the teacher would ask, did anybody do their homework? And maybe one or two people would answer, which is why I say, we're giving this a 95%, okay? 95% of people who have a full cup are going to be in a position where they're going to want more. They're going to want more. They're going to say, okay, my partner or my spouse isn't giving me X, Y, Z of what I want. But their cup is already full. So there is no space for the universe to give you what you want. And I'm going to tell you, you know, the most blessings I've ever gotten was from when my cup was empty. And in order to have an empty cup, it is very challenging in life. It's very, very hard. They call this a little bit like ego death. Okay, the empty cup is like ego death. It's like the empty cup is kind of like courage. It takes courage, bravery, trust, faith. It takes knowing that the universe is going to fill up your cup if it is empty. But you got to clear it out first. And then most people, they don't want to clean their room. They can't even clean the bathroom. How can they possibly have room for what it is that they want? You got to clean. You got to clean the crud. You got to clean out your life. You got to, understand that this is quantum physics. If you have already somebody in your life, most likely the universe is not going to send you a perfect person. And most likely you're going to be dealing with some element of drama or crud. And it's not going to be good. It's going to send you, into a place of sorrow and despair. So this is one of the, these are major things from this book. Those two main things were very important for me to talk about. Let me see if there's anything else. I am going to move this off of here. Hopefully somebody's watching understands what I am saying, and hopefully my audio is okay. Going back to what it says here. Sorry, we got to get my, there we go. Your job is to create this space for your dreams and desires to fill. So, your job, that main line. Okay, so we're going to go back to that main line. Your job. What does that mean? Your job is to create space for your desires to fill. To me, this is very, very powerful. This is probably the number one takeaway thing from this entire reading. There's a lot of things I talked about so far, but to me, this is the takeaway. This is your job. Your job is to create the space for your desires to manifest, to fill, to happen, to come true, to come to pass. If we are in the ego, all we want is more. The universe is going to bring it. The universe is going to bring it. When is it bringing it? Blah, blah, blah. More. Our cup is full. We haven't created the space. It's not in our aura. It's not in our thoughts. It's not in our time. We're busy. The beautiful thing about this and understanding this is it's a very simple concept. But I think that for most people, are going to make an excuse. Most people aren't going to do the work. Most people aren't creating the space because they're too busy. They're going to use the reason that they don't have time. But in order to manifest what they want, they need to make the time. And by making the time, that means they're going to have to sacrifice something. Something in their life is going to need to end. Something in their life is going to need to go. And I talk to a lot of people, especially third-party situations, but all different kinds of people who are trying to manifest basic things, easy things, things that should be easy to fix, easy to fill. But for whatever reason, those things aren't happening because whatever reason, the space isn't there. The energy there needs to be space for it. And part of it is allowing there to be space for it. And I think that's the biggest issue. People talk about manifesting money. And I've looked about this a lot, actually. So let's just say you wanted to manifest more money. All you need to do is allow there to be space for it. That's the job. That's the task. That's what we're doing here. And I think that with most people, there's a resistance to that or an excuse for that or why we're not creating the space. I actually feel like people are so afraid of space. It's an absolute fear. It's to the point of where it's part of the program where it's everyone. I'm just going to say 100% of people are afraid of space. They are so afraid to be alone. They are so afraid to stop being so busy, to live slower, to actually create a life for themselves, to do the work. They're afraid of this space. They're afraid of the space because they think that that space is terrifying. In that space, they're going to have to think about all the things, they're going to have to think about all the things that maybe they did wrong or come to terms with accepting ownership for all the things that they didn't do, the reasons why things are the way they are at the time that they're trying to manifest something. I think also people are afraid of the space because this space is like a mirror. It mirrors back to you what you don't have. This space is like this feeling of loss. It makes us feel like there's nothing and there's no one, and and it's like a terror. It's like a terror. Most people, and I'm just gonna say, I would say I goes back to saying 95% of people would rather have something than nothing. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree about this. But to me, this is super important. This is like, okay, understanding. In order to understand quantum physics, understanding manifesting, understanding, creating space in our life for the things that we want, we have to come to terms with the fact that people would rather have something. Even if that something is the devil even if that something is a scrap, is a crumb, it's a fraction. I used to say that I don't settle for fractions, and then what I do, I settled for a fraction. What's a fraction? A fraction is a percentage or a small part. Let's just say 1/4. That's a fraction, okay? 1/4, a quarter, okay? Let's say 0.25, okay, of the whole pie. 0.25, sorry, 0.25 is, splitting it up like this. This is 25%, right? No, is that right? No, that's, 1/4. Yeah, this is 1/4, 25%. My math is not that great, so I'm pretty sure this is what it looks like. But, you're going to have to take it, I have to look at that later because I am channeling and my brain is thinking about different things. So let's go back to the fraction, okay? If you have a fraction of a relationship, what is a fraction of a relationship? That's a relationship that somebody who's not giving you what you need and want. They are showing up. Maybe they're texting you, maybe they're calling you, but only part of the time. They come and go as they please. They maybe text you when they're interested in having sex, maybe not. They do not really have any explanation for what they're doing, and they're only there really to serve themselves and what their own needs are. That's a fraction. And most people settle for fractions. Most people settle for something, whatever that something is. Like, we're going to say that the something is the fraction, a percentage, 25%. Of whatever the whole pie would be. And the whole pie is going to look like, is going to look really like a whole relationship. A whole relationship over here is the whole pie. 100%, the whole thing. That's the relationship. That's the whole thing. So I just think that for people who are trying to understand manifesting, specifically people who are trying to understand manifesting relationships, all of this is very crucial to your success in manifesting what you want. Regarding anything too, though, if let's just say you're trying to manifest something in career or something with money or something that's not relationship related, it's the same thing. You have to allow it. You have to have this space for it. You have to think about it. I would venture to guess that the very richest and wealthiest people think about money 100% of the day. Okay? They think about money all the time. They might not think about money when they're going to sleep, but I would bet you anything they dream about money even when they're sleeping. Their thoughts are all about money. They aren't concerned about relationships. They don't give one F about relationships. The richest people in the world, I bet you anything, are thinking about money. They're thinking about their investments. They're thinking about the next project. They're thinking about the next opportunity. They're thinking about how to make money 100% of the time. Now, they might have family. And they might have children, and they might have other things, other hobbies, interests, maybe boating, maybe skiing, but that's a small percentage of their what they're thinking about. They're thinking about money. So for people, that are trying to manifest career and things with money, it's also good to remember this. Good to remember this because you have to have space for it. I'm sorry that the wind is really hitting the shades in my other room there. So sorry about the noise. So just going back to this, I feel like conceptually, I've wanted to talk about this for a really long time. I wanted to explain this to you guys because many, many people have asked me about this. Many, many people do not understand what it means to create space. Creating space, this card, okay, the whole card, the whole concept, is, to me, very, very simple. But the problem is that either you've got a full cup, you've got some excuses, you're not thinking about it and you're waiting, or you're afraid of it. They say that people are afraid of their own success, this. Or they are, for whatever reason, accepting a fraction of what they could have because something is better than nothing. And that is why they're not manifesting what they want. And to me, this is like, any type of creation is a creative process is an ongoing thing. Okay, so like to me, it's like, people want the quick solution. They want quick solution. They want it now. But manifesting is an ongoing creative process. To me, it's an ongoing creative process. where it's not just like, oh, I'm going to snap my fingers and, oh, the relationship's going to come to me now. Oh, I'm going to snap my fingers. The money's going to come to me now. Oh, I'm going to snap my fingers and I'm going to have everything that I want. And it's all going to line up perfectly. Yeah. Yeah. Like some people like might have that. Like, you know, there are people that can manifest very quickly. And I'll tell you, if I get mad enough at the universe, I can. But it's funny because I have to get really, really mad in order to do that, because most of the time I'm in a place of allowing. I'm in a place of seeing what comes, and I'm in a kind of flow. So I think that a lot of people too, they get stuck in that where it's like they're not working on their manifesting. They're not working on this creative process. They're not thinking about, okay, what's going on with energy? How does my energy relate to creating the things that I want? Does my thoughts affect creating the things that I want? How does my lifestyle, to me, because this is about lifestyle. Okay, I'm going to write lifestyle here. How does your lifestyle affect the things you want? Like, I've met people, they're in the middle of nowhere. How could they possibly have a good dating life? They're in the middle of nowhere. There might be one bar, okay, maybe two. Everybody's married and has children where they live. There are no single people. So how are they supposed to manifest a relationship there? It's going to be very hard. I mean, and that's a lifestyle choice. And this is a choice. You know, a lot of people are asking for the impossible, and asking for the impossible to me kind of goes back a little bit to this full cup. There's no space for it. Asking for the impossible is a full cup, asking for more. So what's going to happen if the universe was to send you more? You're going to have 2 husbands or 2 wives, like 14 girlfriends, 12 children, and it's going to get messy real quick. Okay, maybe 45 llamas, a couple of parrots, you know, maybe 2 gerbils, and like 10 dogs. If you kind of went rogue and you just started to like get what you wanted, you would have more than you could possibly handle. So in some way, that whole saying about the, you know, I forgot what it was. It was like, to me, it's a Bible verse, but it's sort of like the Lord doesn't give you what you can't handle or something like that. And I kind of interpret it as it's like a quantum physics thing. You're not going to get the overflow of like 12 relationships and 13 girlfriends and like 45 wives. It's just not going to happen, because that's just not how it works. But you're also the opposite. This is the contrast. Not going to get one if your cup is not empty. So your cup has to be empty to find your person. And that's the problem. The fear in not finding their person, the fear in not having a relationship, the fear of having all of that space and all of that emptiness and all that scarcity and all that crazy, like gone, nothing, zero. People can't handle zero. People have to have something to chew on. It's like a cow chewing its cud. It has to have something to chew on. So what happens is people are chewing on their cud, and they've got, you know, a couple of girls here and there, a couple of guys on the side here and there, people that they're sexting, people that they're, you know, maybe sleeping with, people that they're not even caring about, you know, and it becomes a real shit show, because eventually what happens is that nobody is actually working and operating from this space of starting fresh, from the clean slate, from having nothing. They are working from trying to get their Mr. or Mrs. Right to show up when they are having the most crap crud cup full of crud. That doesn't mean anything. And the sad part is that the thing that the people really, really want the thing that they want is they want something valuable. They want something that's going to fill them, that's going to feed their soul. But what they settle for is this crap cup. They settle for the crap cup because it feels better than having, it feels safer than having an empty cup for a short period of time. Usually, you know, I meet people that are single. People are single for short periods of time in their life, unless they're really in a place where they don't want a relationship. They don't want to think about another person. They don't care about their aura. They're just going to drink their head off and party their head off and do whatever they want for the rest of their life. They don't care about their energy. They don't care who they hang out with. They don't care how much drama they've got in their life. They don't care what crud they add up. It doesn't matter. Like, they just want what they want. And whatever lifestyle they're choosing, whatever it is, it's generally probably not going to be the kind of lifestyle that's going to attract a partner, because they don't want it, because it's a lifestyle that's only conducive to what their needs and wants are. And that's another thing. People who are thinking only about what your needs and wants are, let's just say your needs and wants are going to work, making a living, keeping it simple, driving a decent car, having a few friends, doing a few things that you like I said, maybe walking a dog, going for a jog, eating decent food, living a decent life, but your lifestyle has no room for another person. You are only thinking about you. You're only thinking about what your needs and wants are. And in order to create the space, all of this needs to be in kind of an alignment. And what that would look like, okay, we're going to go back to, we're going to pull this over here. I need to come back to that. What that would look like is clear aura, healthy in mind, body, and spirit. That's going to look like positive thoughts about what you want. And that's going to look like a lifestyle that is about you plus what you want. That's the alignment here. To me, that's really what we've got. And it doesn't have the crud. I'm going to write crud over here. And it doesn't have the crazy. And it is empty as AF. It's empty. But to the universe, it's not going to be empty for long. It's just going to be empty for a period of time until the universe says, oh, her light is on. Her cup is empty. Oh my God. She's got space. She's cleaned up her diet. She's drinking water. Oh my God. She's healthy. And look at that. She's thinking about all the cool things that she's going to do with her future children, and all the things she's going to do with her future partner, and all the things that she's going to want in a future partner. And look at that. Her lifestyle isn't just about her anymore. It's about all the other things that are going to come with, in space for all the other things that are to come with the new baby, or the new partner, or the new job, or the new money. All that space, that lifestyle, that time. They've got time. I mean, a lot of workaholic people. And these workaholic people do not have space. I meet a lot of people with negative thinking. And they don't have space either. And I meet a lot of people who, for whatever reason, their aura it's just not large enough. And they have to do a lot of work. And most of the time, I would actually venture to say that the spiritual issue, the aura issue, is probably the biggest problem. They might have positive thoughts. They might be having space for what they want in their lifestyle. Maybe they even, let's just say hypothetically, you've made room in your day for a new job, but it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened because maybe there's not yet space in your aura. Maybe it hasn't happened because spiritually you're not in a place to allow it in, or you can't. And there are some things that aren't meant to be. And I truly believe, and I'm just going to say this, and this is going to sound kind of intense or progressive, but there are some people that are not meant to have certain things. They're just It's not going to be healthy for the people in their life. I've seen people that shouldn't have adopted animals. I think we can all agree that there are people out there that shouldn't have done that. And there are people that probably shouldn't have children because they're just not meant for it. They don't have the space mentally. They don't have space in their time. I've met people that people that have grown up with parents who has spent zero time with them their entire childhood, zero time. And that's detrimental to a child's health. So I'm going to go so far as to say that some things we don't get because for a reason. And I'm just going to go say this too. Star seeds, specifically star seeds, people that consider themselves to be star seeds, and I consider myself to be a star seed. Those of you who were raised in families, tough family situations, most likely those people did not have the space for you. They did not have the space for you. But as a star seed, you incarnated anyways. It's kind of like you slipped through. They didn't have this space for you, and they shouldn't have been able to manifest you at all. They probably should not have been able to manifest having children at all, but in fact, they did. So there are certain things that kind of slip through the quantum field, okay? There are, of course, a lot of other things to talk about aside from just this, but this to me is like the basics. And I've met so many people that have an issue with this that I wanted to talk about this today. And I hope it makes sense. I want to go back to one last thing, and then going back to manifesting is an ongoing creative process. The thing that people I find have tough time with anything that's ongoing is they tend to feel like it's work. They tend to feel like anything that's ongoing, that's not fixed quickly, becomes stressful. And anything that becomes stressful, they readily they don't even want to deal with. So the problem is that they're blocked because they are not able to interact creatively with the manifestation process. They, for whatever reason, may get stressed. I'm just going to write stressed out. They might get frustrated. They might at work or too hard. It doesn't mean, okay, and I just want to be clear about this. It doesn't mean that people are quote unquote lazy, okay? Because they're not doing whatever it is they need to do to manifest the things in their life, okay? It doesn't. And like I said, there are reasons for why people cannot manifest certain things into their life. For whatever reason, to me, it's again more complicated than just saying, okay, somebody's lazy, they're not, doing the work, they're not thinking positively, and they're not da 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 da. There are other complicating factors aside from these, but this is like the basics. This is like the foundation of why, for many people, they are not manifesting what they want. And I think it's become so clear to me that we are dealing with quantum physics, that we are dealing with, most people kind of falling into this cup area where their cup is full and they're not going to work at it. They're not going to say, okay, what is it that I need to do to change? Because they don't want to work at it. They think it's too hard. Maybe they get frustrated. Maybe they and like somebody once said that my manifestations weren't happening because I became upset. So, those of you who are emotional creatures, and God forbid should anybody get upset, it doesn't mean that you can't manifest. It just means that sometimes your stress, your frustration, your idea about this creative process, or that it's too hard, is blocking you, actually. Because you might actually have enough space for it. You might be in a positive mind space most of the time. And you might have a lifestyle that would have space for it. But for whatever reason, your frustrations or your emotions or your upset at the process slows you down. And in that slowness, it may seem as if the universe doesn't want to give you anything. It may seem as if, that you're not manifesting anything. And for many people, it's just that it's slow to manifesting because all of this needs to come back into alignment. All of these factors need to line up in order for it to really happen. Now, I know that like there's other people online, and I don't tend to really watch a lot of like Abraham Hicks stuff. I've watched some of it. I don't really like the terminology. I don't really like the way it's explained. To me, it's very like woo-woo a little bit, and it makes people think, okay, and again, I'm just going to say this. It makes people think that they can't get what they want. And then they get frustrated because they're like, well, I'm not getting what I want. Or like, I'm not manifesting it. Or, I'm never going to have a relationship. So why, da. And they get into this negative headspace. And I think that there is no perfect way to manifest. Like, this is not a formula. Okay. This is not like, this is what you got to do. And if you go do it, all your dreams are going to come true. No. And I'll tell you why. Because this is just kind of a conceptual way of looking at things. I think that life is not that simple. It's not that, it is at the same time, it's not that complicated, but it's not that simple because there's a lot of like leeway, let's just say. Like guys are showing me, it's kind of like there's room to get it wrong and still have a relationship. There's room for a miracle to happen. There's room for you to get things in life that you want. But the problem is that most of the time it's a slower process because people are not working on this. They are frustrated with the process. They are unhappy. They're hanging on to something because it's better than nothing. They aren't really wanting to do the work. And therefore, it's just not happening. Or it's taking a really long time to happen. And that's the reason why. It doesn't mean it can't. See, because we start to then go into thinking, okay, well, it can't happen because I'm not doing XYZ, and that's not true. Because, like I said, the star seed slipped in somehow. Technically, star seed shouldn't even be here. With this aura situation, shouldn't happen. But it does. People that, again, shouldn't adopt animals somehow manage to adopt them. And, via our free will, we get what we want eventually. And they always say, be careful what you wish for. And be careful, for thinking about things that you don't want, because those things can manifest just as much as thinking about things that you do want. I'm going to see if there's anything else that, I want to... I don't know if it's another card or something. It's really interesting. Okay, so there's this one card that's wanting to come out that talks about light beings. And to me, this is like the equivalent of the spirit saying that there's beings out there that want to help. And I go into headspaces of thinking the universe doesn't want to help, the universe isn't listening. But if I'm thinking about this card and this creating space, it makes a lot of sense why things haven't happened. And for some people, it's going to be frustrating to be like, well, again, all the things I talked about make sense, but maybe you still want to hang on to the crumbs. Or maybe you still want to hang on to your full cup and try to manifest a partner outside of that. Maybe you still want to get what you want to get. And there are beings in what they're saying that do want to help you manifest. So it's hard to not get discouraged. Because I feel like they're saying that they're there to help. There are beings that do want to help. And it's my guides are saying there's loopholes. Okay, a loophole is like kind of like getting around the rules, okay? So like let's just say it's like basically in spirit, anything really goes. Okay? Anything really goes. Like if you like they say if you want something bad enough, you'll get it. A loophole is like this little, little uh trick, kind of like a way to get around things. So yeah, even if, let's just say, you're a person that just wants to sit on the couch and not do anything and not make any time for a relationship and not, let's just say, work on your energy and not really have any kind of lifestyle changes. Yeah, if you really wanted it, you could manifest it through some kind of loophole. But then you got to be careful what you're manifesting because you are not necessarily in alignment. So you might manifest things that maybe you'd later regret. That whole thing about being careful what you wish for, because the universe might find a way to give it to you. The universe finds ways to give us things, but then a lot of times it comes kind of too little too late, or comes at a time where maybe like the time for it has passed. My guides are also reminding me to tell everybody, if you're trying to manifest, you want to say, in my timeline, please. Because the guides don't understand time the way we understand time. So if we don't specify in my timeline, it could happen in a different timeline and then therefore it come through at a time when we don't need it. So like, let's just say right now, as an example, I'm trying to pay my rent. It was due on the 5th. Okay. So timing wise, my guides have failed. Okay. They are an epic failure. I give them shit all the time for this. Okay, so they have failed. But at the same time, it could come through later. And the reason it could come through later is because I maybe didn't specify that it needed to happen in my timeline. Or maybe they couldn't find a way to make it happen or find a way to make it work. So that's part of the other thing I wanted to say. Anyways, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you guys so much for being amazing followers and fans. I appreciate, the dedication, love so much. And hopefully I've given you guys some things to think about. I didn't expect, to me, this is like a whole TED talk, honestly. And maybe someday I'll do one and talk about relationships and talk about people and what they're looking for. And I want to encourage everybody to keep positive thinking happening regarding all the things that you want. It doesn't even matter what it is. Thinking positively is the first step. Working on your energy and your aura is another step. But, if you take a little time to make space for whatever it is you want, it could happen right away. And that's the beautiful thing about manifestations, is that it can happen like now. It could, if you wanted it to. So I'm going to leave off here. Thank you guys again. If you want to donate, you can donate using my PayPal link. My PayPal links are going to be in the description box below. Also Venmo or Cash App. All of those are going to be in the description box below. If you don't see it pop up like in the next couple of hours, you can go to any of my other videos that I've already processed, and they have the links. You can find the website to the link to PayPal on my website, oracledaphne.com. And please note that I am doing a lot more content on Instagram now than YouTube. I've been getting the feeling of just not wanting to really post that much on YouTube. It's hard for me to kind of stay inspired at this time. So hit me up for a reading if you want. Please donate if you can, and check me out over on Instagram if you have the ink. So, and I wish everybody the best. I send everybody big hugs, big kisses. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. Bye, guys.